It's a lovely good evening today, the 19th of November 2023. To present Camnet Television News, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. The top stories in the news tonight: former President Edgar Lungu denies sending an emissary to President HICHILEMA. CHILUFYA TAYALI urges government to depoliticize governance institutions. MAZABUKA farmers complain of inadequate fertilizer. In international news, campaigning for presidential elections officially launched in the DRC. And in sports news, Manchester United goalkeeper ONANA injured on Cameroon duty. More in the news after this break.
On Monday, 20th November 2023, join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters with his guest, Honorable Cornelius Muitwa, Minister of Information and Government Spokesperson.
We are heeding to the demands of our electorates. The President has been telling the citizens that you are our masters, we are the servants. Which servant gets shy to take an instruction from their master?
As they discuss the state of the nation of Zambia. Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV.
Not just another channel.
Hello again, the news in detail. Adaptive Leadership Zambia has underscored that creating holding spaces for young people to discuss their welfare is vital towards combating social and economic issues affecting them. Speaking with Camnet News, Adaptive Leadership Sub-Challenge District Manager Veronique Malupande says the young people must be helped to discuss matters confronting them, especially HIV. Speaking with Camnet News on the sidelines of the inaugural Adolescent Conference, she notes that young people must be well equipped with information, knowledge and leadership skills to be able to make right decisions on reproductive health. Here's a report.
Adaptive Leadership Zambia, working with Set Apart International and the Ministry of Health, is a movement that is aimed at primarily reducing the number of new HIV infections among adolescents and young people in Zambia. The movement works with communities to mobilize them around issues that challenge good health outcomes among young people. Saturday, 19th November 2023, they hosted the inaugural Adolescent and Young People Conference under the theme Healthy Choices, Bright Futures, with the tagline, "That one is you." The young people participated in panel discussions, drama, poetry, and traditional dances. Those interviewed by Camnet News say the platform offers an opportunity for them to share ideas on how to approach issues affecting them, such as HIV.
Like this, they create a holding environment, an environment where it's okay to disagree on something, it's okay to agree on something, but at the end of the day, we need to come up with something that's going to work for all of us involved. So these conferences help young people to exchange knowledge, exchange their working ethics, because there are certain compounds that are doing better than we are doing, and when we get to hear how they do their interventions, because today we learned that there are certain people who actually go to university institutions to do their adaptive leadership work.
These adolescents come together, they learn from each other. Services are given to these adolescents. And also, these adolescents are able to have a platform where they can express themselves, they can share their experiences, and they can network and teach each other different things that make them productive.
Adaptive Leadership Challenge Sub-District Manager Veronique Malupande underscored the need to create leadership capacity among young people so that they can take charge of their affairs.
Making sure that the word is out there, that the young people are taking the leading role in suggesting what is important for their future, for their health. And so just seeing young people in one space for us is a milestone, and that we have come this far. Over these 2 years that we have implemented activities, it is now time for us to show forth how our information has gone across in different communities.
Levison Nkoma, commonly known as Bikiloni, who is Adaptive Leadership Ambassador, has called for responsible use of social media as it exposes young people to vulnerabilities that tend to negatively affect their lives.
Social media we are now looking forward to social media, so let's use the social media. Then even us where we come from, let's also help our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, the young ones. You see, because if we are made to influencing them maybe to get into drug abuse, alcohol, and etc., etc. I think we are creating a society that will be very difficult to handle in the future.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Residents of Nachipoma village in Mazabuka district, Southern Province, have appealed to the government to construct a maternity wing on the newly constructed clinic in the area. Village headman Feloni Hamwanja tells Camnet News that apart from the lack of a maternity wing, residents are still experiencing other challenges such as lack of bed space and a shortage of healthcare workforce. Meanwhile, Nachipoma Ward Councillor Tawanda Malambo assured the residents of the government's commitment to providing health services as close to the people as possible. More in this report.
Rural residents often encounter barriers to health care that limits their ability to obtain the care they need. After many years of having no clinic, residents of Nachipoma village in Mazabuka district, Southern Province, are delighted over the construction of the newly built Nachipoma clinic. According to the area councillor Tawanda Malambo, the construction works began in 2004 and the clinic was only completed in 2022 when the government channeled more funds. However, residents have still pointed out some of the challenges that they continue to face, such as lack of bed space, no maternity wing, and the healthy facility only has 3 healthy personnel against a population of about 8,000.
We are happy with the construction of this clinic. We thank government. However, we want to appeal to the government to deploy more health workers. The other challenge we are facing is that we don't have enough bed space. So if someone is sick, they can't be admitted.
The residents have urged the government to construct a maternity ward at the clinic and deploy more healthy workers.
We appeal to the government to construct a maternity wing. The lack of workforce at this clinic has also negatively affected the residents because of the huge population that depend on this same clinic.
Meanwhile, Nachipoma Ward Councillor Tawanda Malambo has assured the residents of the government's commitment of providing healthy services as closer to the people as possible.
This clinic is called Nachipoma Clinic. It started in 2004 and we completed it last year, 2022. And our new government, which funded more money to complete it. So the same year, last year, we have managed to construct that house for that staff house. The beneficiary under this clinic, there are about 8 headmen with about 80,000 people near that are benefiting from this clinic. And we have 3 health personnel that are working under this clinic. We have the nurse, we have EHT, and the other one, there are 3. So they are working. The working system is good, people are not complaining.
He says the government's effort is to ease the burden of people going to far-flung areas to access health care services and has assured the resident of the construction of the maternity wing soon.
So we are planning to construct the maternity ward behind, and here we are planning to construct a male and female ward here, and then insulate that side, and the same attached house there for health personnel to be be in. So the plan for constructing those things is there. And we have requested under CDF that we need to fence the whole area for this clinic. So soon and very soon to be in a wire fence. So the plans are there.
According to Sustainable Development Goal number 3, by 2030, Zambia seeks to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages, with the 2030 agenda of ascertaining that it will reduce the global maternity mortality ratio to less than 70 per 100,000 live births. It is therefore an urgent need that the cries of the resident to construct a maternity wing is addressed as soon as possible. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Consumer Unity Trust and the Consumer Unity and Trust Society, CUTS, has underscored the importance of attaining financial justice for women and girls in Zambia in order to tackle inequalities and poverty. CUTS Country Director Angela Mulenga says fiscal justice enables people to exercise their rights of influencing and monitoring public finance systems for greater revenue generation and increased spending on quality public services. Ms. Mulenga notes that rural and urban communities still face challenges regarding opportunities in education, business and career, among others, hence the need for urgent attainment of fiscal justice. And Lunte Member of Parliament Mutotwe Kafwaya has since urged parliamentarians to ensure that the 2024 national budget is gender responsive if fiscal justice for women and girls is to be attained. The duo was speaking Saturday during the opening of the Gender Analysis Workshop of the 2024 national budget under the Fiscal Justice for Women and Girls in Africa project being implemented in Zambia and Uganda. More in the following report.
Women and girls continue to be left out in economic and fiscal planning activities, resulting in underlying inequalities and poverty. In addressing the exclusion of the two groups in economic decision-making, the Consumer Unit and Trust Society, in partnership with Oxfam, is implementing a 3-year project called Fiscal Justice for Women and Girls, aimed at amplifying voices of Southern Africa's women organizations in macro-level economic decision-making. Under the project, the two organizations Saturday brought together parliamentarians, civil society organizations, government officials, and media for Gender Analysis Workshop of the 2024 national budget to bring out its outcomes from a gender perspective and address issues of gender and tax justice.
Ladies and gentlemen, fiscal justice is about people having the space to voice out and the agency to exercise their right, and through to this to influence and monitor fiscal justice systems. So we can only achieve fiscal justice if we empower the women and also make them able to stand up on their own and voice out.
Speaking during the opening of the workshop in Kafue Saturday, Ms. Mulenga stressed the need to attain fiscal justice for women and girls, also urging government to undertake reforms to give women equal rights to economic resources.
So for us to achieve fiscal justice for women and girls, there is need for government and all stakeholders to recognize the value of unpaid care and domestic work through provision of public services infrastructure, such as hospitals, education, and other social protection policies.
Representing members of parliament, Lunte Member of Parliament Mutotwe Kafwaya urged fellow parliamentarians to apply lessons from the workshop in their deliberations.
For us, this workshop will cause us to be more conscious of that justice contained in the 2024 budget for women and girls, so as to enable us represent our women and girls more effectively in the process of not only analyzing but also approving the national budget.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Farmers in Chizoma Bay under Chief Mwanachingwala in Mazabuka District, Southern Province, have complained that they are forced to share fertilizer packs due to increased numbers of cooperatives. In an interview, some of the farmers expressed fear that the present scarcity of fertilizer and other agricultural inputs might affect their output this season. Meanwhile, Chizoma B Ward Councillor and Village Headman Chemist Munyaka has appealed to the government to increase fertilizer packs to accommodate all eligible farmers. More in this report.
Farmers in Mazabuka district, Southern Province, have appealed to the government to increase the packs of the Farmer Input Support Program for small-scale farmers. The farmers of Chizoma B under Chief Mwana Chingwala have complained that they are forced to share fertilizer packs due to increased numbers of cooperatives. In an interview, some of the farmers expressed fear that due to fewer numbers of packs of inputs they are receiving, this might affect their output. Fertilizer is not enough. We can only farm according to the amount of fertilizer packs we receive, so we don't farm a lot. We farm according to the packs we receive. Those that receive enough fertilizer farm more. For our area, we will farm according to fertilizer we received because we did not receive more. We plead that the government should make sure that everyone in the area has access to enough fertilizer.
The government only gave fertilizer to old cooperatives and not new ones. The same old cooperatives were not given enough fertilizer, so because of too many farmers who wanted the fertilizer, we are forced to start sharing. And because of lack of fertilizer, people did not farm according to how they wanted. As a result, this is the reason why there is hunger in the area. Government should this time give enough fertilizer to the cooperatives.
Meanwhile, Chizomo B Ward Councillor and also village headman Chemist Munyaka has appealed to the government to consider increasing the packs of import to small-scale farmers.
Because at the moment I was saying, farmers now are sharing maybe 1 gallon in a pack, 1 gallon, maybe they are in a pack there are 8. So you see, so instead of having one person per what? 1 person per share, per pack. They are sharing because there are so many. And the government is saying we are not allowed to share those packs. It's one pack per muntu. Now we have no option because the number of packs, they are very few. And the beneficiaries, they are on us, or they are on the chairmen to say we want these inputs.
He has since urged the government through the Ministry of Agriculture to take the appeal seriously if the district is to become secure in food security.
So we are appealing to the government that we should receive the farming inputs on time as we have done this year, and as well as the number of packs should be increased so that these land can langos of look now we have shortage of there is no food. Everybody is crying for the merry meal price. So if we are up to date, no one will complain. Like this coming season, just because of the measures which has been put in place, very few will complain. Very few will say the prices have gone high.
Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
The government says it is inaccurate to suggest that there has been untimely release of the Constituency Development Fund (CDF). Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Nicholas Piri, says the constituencies are funded based on the absorption rate. Mr. Piri says councils that are finding difficulties in effectively implementing CDF projects must engage the ministry.
Guidelines are a product of the CDF Act. As it is now, we are still using the CDF Act number 11 of 2018, and the guidelines that were promulgated in 2021. And unless and until such a time that the CDF Act is repealed and replaced or amended, then the guidelines still remain as they are. But I must also hasten to mention that the funding for the CDF is not really delayed per se. We currently are sitting above 50% funding from the Treasury, 50% of the about 4.2 billion that is allocated to the CDF, and most of the local authorities are sitting above 50%. And we have said this repeatedly, that if there's any local authority that has exhausted its funding 2021, 2022, 2023, and they still require a bit more money to execute their projects, all they do is to reach out to the ministry and will be able to provide the funding. You must not forget that we are coming from a context where just a few months ago there was a complaint of poor burn rate. Councils sitting on so much money and not delivering projects. So what we have done this year is to make sure that the disbursements are triggered by your ability to consume the money. So once you have consumed your money, you demonstrate that you have spent the money, then we are going to disperse the money to help you execute the projects. Bottom line is, by the end of this year, be rest assured that government would have met all its obligations under the CDF.
Katua Member of Parliament Mwabashike Nkulukusa is disappointed with the poor response among youths to the various Constituency Development Fund CDF empowerment programs in his jurisdiction. Mr. Nkulukusa says the constituency has received about 100 applications of various empowerment programs, and out of those received, youths account for a very small number. Muno Muchinga Ward 28 of Lusaka's Matero constituency, Councillor Lee Mukupa, says the ward has received more than 250 applications for empowerment, which represents an improvement from last year. More in the following report.
In 2022, youth unemployment rate in Zambia remained nearly unchanged at around 11.3%, with a decline of 0.1 percentage points from 2021. For this reason, among other interventions, the Constituency Development Fund CDF has been fashioned to cushion youth unemployment through a number of empowerment programs. Katuba Constituency Member of Parliament in Central Province, Mwabashike Nkulukusa, however, bemoaned the low applications of youths for various empowerment programs.
We've seen also women commitment to ensuring that they uplift their lives, because I think they say once bitten, twice shy. They have come up, they are moving out to uplift their. I think the biggest challenge that we have is the youths now, both the female and the male, from the constituency perspective, that they need to rise to the challenge and also start ensuring that they put some effort for some of these things.
Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Nkulukusa urged youths to avail themselves for various empowerment programs.
And therefore they want things to be done without effort. Unfortunately, nothing comes without effort. We all have to put some effort into it for it to work. There is a saying that if you work at it, it works for you. So I think from the constituent's point of view, for the women, we are doing quite well in terms of grants and applications for loans, even when you look at in terms of innovative ideas of how to run piggeries, poultries.
Meanwhile, Muchinga Ward 28 Councillor of Lusaka's Matero constituency, Mr. Lee Mukupa, says the ward has received an overwhelming response of applications for CDF empowerment programs for 2024.
We have received more than 250 applications for skills training and bursaries. And for the grant, so far we have received about 40. Loans, we have received about 20. We are recording a very high, we have received an overwhelming response from the general public due to the sensitization that we've been doing in this ward.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The opposition Patriotic Front has dispelled social media speculations that former President Edgar Lungu has sent an emissary to meet with President Hakainde Hichilema. The former president stated that it is a blatant lie that should be dismissed by all well-meaning Zambians with the contempt it deserves. In a statement to Camden News, PF Chairperson for Information and Publicity Emmanuel Mwamba says it is not true that the former head of state has sent people to engage President Hichilema. However, there have been calls from the church and governance actors on the need for the two statesmen to dialogue and commit themselves to peace building. Economic and Equity Party leader CHILUFYA TAYALI has charged that there is too much politics in the country to the extent that the three arms of government are seemingly being perceived as becoming compromised. Mr. TAYALI believes the judiciary and parliament have been entangled in politics being peddled by the opposition political parties and the executive. He notes that the PF has been branding the Speaker of the National Assembly as being political and that she has not done enough to recuse herself from the accusations. He says Zambia is doing fine when it comes to democracy, but that it is important that the executive arm of government disassociates itself from politics. Last week, Patriotic Front Mporokoso Member of Parliament Brian Mondobele sued the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, challenging her decision to acknowledge the appointment of Robert Chabinga as leader of opposition in Parliament, when there was a notice that Mr. Chabinga was not recognized by the PF.
On those that are in the government institutions, for example, on the Speaker, you know, the Speaker is in a mess. They have really rattled the Speaker to an extent that she is also reacting, and reacting very emotive, such that it is very difficult to see, you know, the objectivity. You see, if you enter into a quarrel, bitter quarrel, whoa, you know, people will not be able to see who is making sense. Even if you are making sense, but people will not, because you are in a quarrel. So, the best that they should have done is to bring down the politics. Now, the problem is, those who are in government, you know, they are the ones who are supposed to work with that responsibility to bring down the politics. It is an analogy I can give you. You are a journalist, you are working. Me, I'm not a journalist. And if we start quarreling, and you also start responding to me, you know, you might be responding from your professionalism to say, no, interview is supposed to be like this and so on and so forth. But as long as you have engaged me in a quarrel, it will be very difficult for people to see who is a professional and who is a politician. And this is the situation with these. They are engaging in the politics. The Speaker, instead of remaining above, she's also getting into the politics. On the judiciary also, some of the statements that the Chief Justice has made have actually exposed him, because he also somehow go into the politics instead of remaining away from the politics. So we have so much politics that is going on, but those who are in government, they have a greater responsibility to push down the politics, other than, you know, responding to them. Whoa. It's very difficult, and at the end of the day, you know, people will think that Zambia is doing so badly. I don't think we're doing so badly, frankly speaking.
Police in Lusaka have arrested 18 junkies who were fond of terrorizing members of the public. The 18 aged between 17 and 25 were arrested after an intensive patrol conducted by the Chawama police station. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says they have been charged with idle and disorderly conduct, and they will be further screened for various offences committed before. More in this.
Chawama Police Station yesterday, the 18th of November 2023, and 12 hours conducted intensive patrols to apprehend junkies who are fond of terrorizing members of the public. Areas concentrated were the bus stops, Mapinga area, Amarais, Chimoemwe, John Howard, and within Chawama. A total number of 18 junkies with ages ranging from 17 to 25 were arrested and charged with idle and disorderly, and they are further screened for various offences committed before and will be taken to court for the alleged offences. They all have been detained in police custody.
This is Camnet Television Main News. Join us for more news after this short break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
On Monday, 20th November 2023, join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters with his guest, Honorable Cornelius Mwitwa, Minister of Information and Government Spokesperson.
We are heeding to the demands of our electorates. The President has been telling the citizens that you are our masters, we are the servants. Which servant gets shy to take an instruction from their master?
As they discuss the state of the nation of Zambia. Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GOTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages.
Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV.
Not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RainGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Economic and Equity Party leader CHILUFYA, I beg your pardon. The opposition Patriotic Front has dispelled social media speculation. I beg your pardon, I'll read that again. President HICHILEMA has arrived in the Federal Republic of Germany, where he is expected to participate in the 5th G20 Compact with Africa CWA conference. President HICHILEMA is attending the conference following the invitation extended to him by the Federal Republic of Germany Chancellor Olaf Scholz. State House Chief Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka says the president's visit aligns with his ongoing pursuit of economic diplomacy aimed at attracting trade and investment opportunities for Zambian citizens as part of his economic policy reform agenda. In a press statement released today, Mr. Hamasaka explained that the primary objective of the CWA is to increase the attractiveness of private investment through sustainable improvements in the macro, business and financing frameworks, and brings together reform-minded African countries, international organizations and bilateral partners from G20 and beyond to coordinate country-specific reform agendas, support policy measures, and advertise investment opportunities to private investors. He added that since its launch in 2017 under the German G20 presidency, the CWA has garnered significant interest, with 13 countries already signed up, among them leading economies such as Rwanda, Ghana, and Egypt. The government has hailed Zambia Sugar PLC for contributing to the growth of the country's economy through its profitable undertakings, as seen by the latest operating profit recorded in the company's 2023 financial year. Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry Chipoka Mulenga said this during the Zambia Sugar Reseller Loyalty Awards in Livingston. The minister, who was represented by Southern Province Permanent Secretary Dr. Namani Monze, congratulated Zambia Sugar for recording a profit of over 1 billion kwacha, stating that the achievement is beneficial to the country as the company is listed on the Lusaka Security Exchange, hence having a direct impact on not just local shareholders but also the local communities. Zambia Sugar Country Managing Director Oswald Magwenzi pledged continued commitment to producing quality products and ensuring they are widely distributed and conveniently available to all consumers. Magwenzi added that safety is a strategic priority at Zambia Sugar, which not only translates to the workplace environment but also caters to the whole production process until the commodity gets to the customer. The Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, through the Golden Valley Agricultural Research Trust, has accelerated the use of agricultural smart technologies in the production of pastures for livestock. Monze Fisheries and Livestock Technician Jamie Musukwa says production of pastures from various legumes such as cowpeas, sorghum, maize and other grasses has been intensified. Mr. Musukwa explained that irrigated pasture production has been promoted following a growing threat of climate change characterized by prolonged dry spells on natural pastures. He was speaking during the just ended 2023 GRT National Pasture and Smallholder Livestock Fair at Batoka Livestock Development Center in Choma. More in this report.
Southern Province is a hub of livestock production, but is currently experiencing the negative impact of climate change, resulting in less grazing pasture for cattle in the dry season. However, the narrative is about to change as government, through the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, has accelerated growing of foliage and silage from various food crops and grasses to feed animals. Jimmy Musukwa explains what is involved in making silage used to feed animals. The Golden Valley Agricultural Research Trust recognizes the growing threat of climate change on livestock production and productivity, including pasture available, and the importance of smart technologies in mitigating the impacts.
And the smell it smells very nice because there are some molasses which were added on. So it's very nutritious, more especially this time in the dry season where we have a scarce of grass. So you supplement your animals using the same stovers.
Seed companies are equally incorporated in growing of legumes, maize and cowpeas to feed livestock.
The rain pattern for this year in Southern Province and other areas, what we are encouraging our farmers is that they need to plant very drought-resistant varieties, robust varieties.
Mayfair Insurance is envisaging to cover 10,000 farmers with insurance policy to assist livestock farmers.
Asset protection. This one is able to help a farmer protect them in a case where the forage is not enough in a specific season. They are able to insure these animals, and once there is a trigger for a claim.
Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Choma, Southern Province.
The Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, through the Golden Valley Agricultural Research Trust, in the production of pastures for livestock, and the Monze Fisheries and Livestock Technician Jimmy Musukwa says production of the pastures for various legumes such as cowpeas, sorghum, maize and other grasses has been intensified. Mr. Musukwa explained that irrigated pastures production was promoted following a growing threat of climate change characterized by prolonged dry spells on natural pastures. He was speaking during the just ended 2023 GRT National Pasture and Smallholder Livestock Fair held at Batoka Livestock Development Center in Choma. We take a break. Join us for more news after the break.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
I never have this feeling in my heart.
Are you planning to marry or get married? Contact the Camnet media team for a professional capturing of your big day in life. Let your relatives, friends and the nation join you in celebrating your big day on television. Just at a manageable fee, Camnet Television will cover and transmit your wedding on your channel of choice. Contact the marketing department on mobile number. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
I give my love to having home. And as far
On Monday, 20th November 2023, join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters with his guest, Honorable Cornelius Muitwa, Minister of Information and Government Spokesperson.
We are heeding to the demands of our electorates. The President has been telling the citizens that you are our masters, we are the servants. Which servant gets shy to take an instruction from their master?
As they discuss the state of the nation of Zambia. Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GOTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV.
Not just another channel.
Welcome back. And now in international news, tens of thousands of candidates, including the 26 candidates running for the highest office, officially launched a month-long election campaign in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Sunday in a tense political climate and against a backdrop of armed conflict in the east. Opposition heavyweights did not hesitate to motivate their bases, while President Felix Tshisekedi, who is seeking a second term in office, held a series of inaugurations as his team trumpeted up his achievements in a wide range of fields. Felix Tshisekedi himself saw things through from day one with a meeting at the Matthias Stadium in Kinshasa, while one of his main challengers, Martin Fayulu, harangued the crowds in a neighboring province. On December 20th, some 44 million registered voters out of a population of around 100 million will be called upon to elect their president, as well as choosing from over 100,000 candidates for the legislative, provincial and municipal elections. We monitored African news.
Tens of thousands of candidates, including the 26 candidates running for the highest office, officially launched a month-long election campaign in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Sunday in a tense political climate and against the backdrop of armed conflict in the east. Opposition heavyweights did not hesitate to motivate their bases, while President Felix Tshisekedi, who is seeking a second term in office, held a series of inaugurations as his team trumpeted his achievements in a wide range of fields. On December 20th, some 44 million registered voters out of a population of around 100 million will be called upon to elect their president, as well as choosing from over 100,000 candidates for the legislative, provincial and municipal elections. A record according to the Electoral Commission, which is determined to organize the elections on time, despite logistical difficulties and ongoing violence by armed groups in the east. Because of the conflict, 2 territories in the province of North Kivu will not be able to vote normally, but if the provincial capital Goma were to fall itself, the whole process will be compromised. Tshisekedi, who made peace a priority, asserted that the M23 will not take Goma. His overall record is mixed according to analysts and catastrophic according to the opposition, which paints a gloomy picture of the situation while immediately denouncing organized fraud. On October 31st, an agreement in principle was signed between opposition leader Succès Masra and the Chadian government. Signed under the aegis of the Economic Community of Central African States, facilitator Felix Tshisekedi, it allowed Succès Masra to return to Chad 1 year after the events of October 20th of last year. For les transformateurs, Masra's Success Party, the initiative was a significant milestone towards national reconciliation. The president for having signed this agreement. The agreement aims to reconcile the Chadian people. As the president has said, there's a time for war and there's a time for reconciliation. The document is far from unanimous and has been condemned by opposition members of the Groupe de Concertation des Acteurs Politiques. The principal organ of discord is the general amnesty for the perpetrators of the murderous repression of October 20th, 2022, which left 128 people dead, according to Chad's National Human Rights Commission. If the government has contributed directly or indirectly to the massacres of our young people, then if the perpetrators are found guilty, let them answer for their crimes. For political scientist Dr. Évariste Ngarlem-Tolde, the amnesty compromise reached between the transitional government and les transformateurs does not wipe out the international prosecutions. This is an agreement that only concerns the president of les transformateurs and the government, but it does not absolve the government of certain obligations. Tomorrow, perhaps, the Chadian military will answer for some of their acts before the International Criminal Court. Succès Masra has scheduled a meeting on Sunday with his supporters, the very first since his return to the country. At 78, Joseph Boakai is Liberia's new president and the country's third democratically elected head of state. The former vice president under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took his revenge on incumbent President George Weah, who defeated him in 2018. Presenting himself as an everyman who transcended his humble beginnings, Boakai has attempted to craft a more energetic image after earning the unfortunate title of Sleepy Joe for his propensity to fall asleep during public events. His opponents view his advanced age as a handicap and claim that he's out of touch with the younger generation in a country where 60% of the population is under 25. But his supporters emphasize his age and unwavering probity, claiming that he alone will be able to restore confidence in institutions and fight corruption. Boakai has pledged to invest in infrastructure and alleviate the extreme poverty still suffered by most Liberians. A father of 4, the former VP benefits from the backing of older voters who value the stability his party has brought after living through civil wars between 1989 and 2003. The United States congratulated Liberian President-elect Joseph Boakai on his victory and President Weah on his acceptance. Incumbent President Weah gracefully conceded the tight election on Friday before the final official tally was announced to mark a peaceful transfer of power in a region that has recently seen a plethora of military coups in recent years.
And in our sports news tonight, goalkeeper Andre Onana will return to Manchester United to discover the extent of an injury suffered playing for Cameroon in a World Cup qualifier. Onana, 27, was substituted in the 81st minute of Friday's 3-0 victory over Mauritius in Douala, having been injured making a save. The goalkeeper has pulled out of Cameroon's squad for Tuesday's match against Libya. Cameroon officials did not give details of the type or severity of the injury. Onana, who signed from Inter Milan for £47.2 million in July, has played in all 18 of United's competitive fixtures so far this season. United manager Erik ten Hag is already facing a number of injury issues as his squad prepare to return from the international break, with a Premier League trip to Everton on the 26th of November and a Champions League visit to Galatasaray 3 days later. To end Camnet Television main news, the top stories once again. Former President Edgar Lungu denies sending an emissary to President Hakainde Hichilema. CHILUFYA TAYALI urges government to depoliticize governance institutions. MAZABUKA farmers complain of inadequate fertilizer. In international news, campaigning for presidential elections officially launched in the DRC. And in sports news, Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana injured on Cameroon duty. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Proverbs 16 verse 19. Better to be lowly in spirit along with the oppressed than to share plunder with the proud. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Thanks for watching Camnet Television News. Good night.